Daniel Jeremiah just dropped his mock draft over at NFL.com. We're going to review that and look at the landing spots of some of these players. Then we're going to rank these players in tiers for Dynasty Fantasy Football. That way we get a good gauge of the values. That way we get a good gauge of these scenarios for these players. And we do so many of these mock drafts that we have a good idea no matter what happens with the NFL draft, because we cover about a couple a week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm dropping a lot of rookie draft content, helping you out with mock drafts, player values, rankings, and everything else. Whatever you need on this channel, you got it. But let's start looking at this mock draft real quick here. The Daniel Jeremiah mock draft 3.0, the one for late March, has arrived. And I'll tell you this one thing. They created this mock draft to really reel in the consumer. This is more of a consumer-based mock draft. You'll see what I'm getting at here. But we're going to roll down here to the 101. Wait till we get there. Right there. Carolina Panthers select Bryce Young. Kind of new here, which is all right. We got Andy Dalton to fill the gap. Bryce Young, first quarterback off the board, has been pegged for a long time. Going to Carolina, nothing really changes things with his dynasty value. We're going to have Miles Sanders. Might get a good transition. We got a new offense in. We got a lot of newness coming in. They're pegged to transition, so maybe they'll allow him to develop slow, which could happen. Something I want to look forward to. I think this is a good spot for him. Not the greatest landing spots, but never is at the top of the board. So at 101, Carolina, I don't feel like it's bad. I feel like it'd be an all right investment if you're looking for quarterback. Then that means C.J. Stroud going to the Texans. And Texans are in rebuild mode. And you know what? It's going to take a little bit of time for everything to really click together. Stroud seems like a better fit than Young in this situation because he's bigger. He's bigger. He can take more pounding while everything's transitioning. He's also got a very strong arm. He's accurate downfield. Young is accurate downfield, but Stroud is just seems like he's more put together for this scenario. For a dynasty, I don't feel like this changes anything because we had Young ranked high going to the Texans. Stroud has been ranked high even though he could go to the Texans. So that's something you could just look at going forward that nothing should really change once it comes written in blood. So we're going to look at some other picks here. And then number 4, Anthony Richardson to the Colts. This is where I would want him to go to really be in on him more because you got Jonathan Taylor there. You got an offense here that has a proven track record of bringing in players through the draft, wide receivers and whatnot to help the offense. Last year, they drafted a wide receiver in a second. They're going to be drafting more players to get him more attuned. He might have to show up early and be the top quarterback there earlier than expected. We're going to have to see. But Anthony Richardson, though, this is an all right spot. We're indoors. This could be an okay spot for him. You can lean on Jonathan Taylor more in the run game. It opens things up more for Jonathan Taylor with his running attributes. Very interesting. I like this spot for him. I like this more than other spots. Let me know, Colts fans, what you think about that. But you're at your draft spots, him, Will Levis. So tell me what you would think between the two. You're not probably going to get the other two quarterbacks unless you move up or something. So moving on down here. It's going to be a bit till we see another skill player. Here we go. Jackson Smith-Njigba to the Titans. People are going to hate this pick, so you're going to probably catch him at a discount in a lot of Dynasty rookie mock drafts or rookie drafts. He's going to be falling down boards because he went to the less desirable landing spots in the NFL, which is all right if you like his game. I like his game. I feel like there's going to be a transition in his offense eventually. They fueled good players before. Remember A.J. Brown? He was pretty good, huh? I'm not doing a comparison, but good players can produce in awkward offenses. This could happen here. It'll be in the slot. You got Treylon Burks. They're adding pieces to the offense. This scenario kind of screams like, hey, the passing game's going to increase to some way or some form. In volume, air yards, or something. Something's got to give if Jackson Smith-Njigba hits. So if you believe he's going to hit the NFL level, you should not be scared of any landing spot. Talent wins out eventually. Here we go. Bijan Robinson going 14th to the Patriots. Another shakeup. And like I told you, this is a consumer-based mock draft, shaking things up. And those are what we want when we're reviewing these because we covered so many mock drafts that we need something different. We need eyes on different landing spots here. This is something different here to chew on. We got Ramondre Stevenson and Bijan Robinson going tit for tat, carry for carry. Interesting scenario there. I think him going to a spot where there's an incumbent running back isn't a bad idea. And what I think about that is that longevity-wise, while he's learning the game, getting used to the speed, the flow, less likely to get wasted carries, impacted by injuries or anything like that, and really can have a more part-time role or a lesser full-time role, sharing the workload in its first year or two, and then it's all systems go. And I should look for most running backs to be in some sort of committee throughout their career, whether it's in the beginning, middle, end. There should always be multiple running backs really in an offense. That era of having that one bell cow and just slamming it 30 times a game is over, and it's getting more and more over as we move forward. And him just going to a team where they emphasize the run is a good thing, and then also already have another running back there to really help him. Plus, Ramondre Stevenson's there. He can learn off him, learn the system off him, and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people who play redraft with Dynasty would hate this. A lot of people like that. A lot of people who aren't patient. A lot of people are very reactionary might discount him. Stuff like that. But I don't look at this as a bad thing. With Bijan, you're in for the long haul if you're making that pick. If not, you should have already traded it, because something like that could happen. If you're that wishy-washy, you probably should already kick the tires. Dalton Kincaid to Washington. I want to make it quick. Tight ends are going to tight end. Ambiguous situation. I'll buy him cheaper later, or I'll pay a little bit more if he hits. I'm not against that. Just the cost of the other players on the board, the opportunity cost of the running backs, wide receivers, where he might be going in drafts, might deter me from drafting him. But if he's going out of value since he's going to Washington, I might take him. It really depends. I'm saying late second, early third. If he goes higher than that, I'm washing my hands, because there's a lot of good players in this draft that deep in the second round. And we're going down here. Down, down, down. Let's see who's next. Will Levis to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is why I say this is a consumer-based draft, because while you're watching this draft, scroll down, you're like, where's Levis? Did I miss Levis? Let me scroll back up. There's Levis. He's with Tampa Bay at 19. Interesting scenario here. So you're going to transition with Mayfield and Trask, and hopefully Levis develops, and at 19, the sunk cost isn't really there. And one thing is that Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, they're not getting any younger. By the time Levis is ready to take the reins, when will that be? And how old will those players be? Where will they be at in their career? May be looking at some wide receivers sooner than later for this team. Might be looking for a transition sooner than later with this team. But I think the cost in Superflex is going to be a lot cheaper if he falls down the board a bit too, which is a good thing if you want a cheaper quarterback. And I like getting quarterbacks a little bit cheaper, because they are very ambiguous unless they're locked and loaded like a Trevor Lawrence or something like that. So a quarterback that everybody hates that goes in the first round, usually I like him going at least top 15, top 12-ish, and everybody hates him. I kind of want to lean into him at a discount just because the market's wrong a lot. But now we're seeing Jordan Addison go to Seattle, and I think this is a great spot for him. DK Metcalf takes a lot of load off. He needs to go in a situation like this where you got another wide receiver on there like DK Metcalf to really take things off. I think this is a good spot for him. I think this is a spot where he can eat. He can work in the sliding, work in the outside. He's quick in a phone booth. Good ball skills, been productive, and I like that. And now we got Zay Flowers going to the Chargers. Optimal situation for all the wide receivers on the board in this draft. He can get downfield. He can be a deep threat. He can be a short to intermediate guy. He's very diverse, and I like that about skill set. Good ball skills. Good fit with the Chargers as well with Herbert. Everybody's going to be going off on him in drafts. Going next here. Here is one of the screwballs in the draft, and we haven't seen this much in mock drafts, is Hendon Hooker going in the first round, and that's to the Vikings. Hendon Hooker's a 25-year-old quarterback coming off an ACL injury, but he's had a lot of opportunity, a lot of attempts at the college ranks. Some say he's in a gimmicky offense. The thing about this is he's going to have some time to develop. He's going to have some time to wait things out, but he's going to have Justin Jefferson there. He's going to have a good tight end there. They got some positions there. They got some players there to really help him out if they want to transition to him from Cousins. And really, this gives them a piece that if they want to transition from Cousins anytime, they got that. They got a good backup quarterback. This could be more than a backup quarterback. You're drafting him at 23. A lot of people are saying at the other positions, this is a thin draft. Maybe this is something they want to do. Maybe DJ's heard some stuff around the league. Probably not. This is a shakeup. You advertise 5 quarterbacks. You got your 5th quarterback coming off the board, trying to get you to scroll through the whole draft. But hindsight, you're getting a cheaper quarterback in Superflex who's in a good situation with Justin Jefferson, and you're really taking a dice roll. Coming down here, is that it? No, nope, not yet. We're at 25. Quentin Johnston to the Bills. This is probably a good fit. It's probably a good fit. You got a yellow quarterback that throws it deep downfield. That's what he wants. Gabe Davis isn't it. Gabe Davis probably needs another wide receiver in the offense. Stephon Diggs isn't getting younger. You could probably need to put some bullets in the chamber. Quentin Johnston, you can get him downfield. You can try and get him some yak. You don't have to make him be the wide receiver one just yet. Probably a perfect scenario for him. Actually, I don't know if he falls this far, though. I just don't know because we're seeing him go higher in mocks. Had a good combine. I don't know about that, though. Michael Mayer to the Saints. We want to keep it quick. Tight ends are going to tight end. Take him at value in Dynasty Rookie Drafts. Very good player. Very good player. We see a lot of good tight ends come out, and you really just want to ping him at value just because of the position in fantasy sports. That's it. That's it. There's nothing against the player. I'm sure he's going to get on the field quick, get snaps, get targets. You're just going to have to play the values. Going on down. That is it for this draft. So let's look at the rankings here. So we are here at the tier maker to rank these players, put them into tiers. If they're in a tier, that means they're close together. Very ambiguous. Rank them how you want in the tier, but trying to give you that value. And we're doing this in Superflex for the added value, added weight for the quarterback position. If not, the quarterbacks would be just sunk down at the bottom. Starting things backwards, we're going to start with D to switch things up. Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid. We're going to switch these guys back and forth. They're tight ends. We're really just going to take them at value. They're good players. I like them both. I like Kincaid. I think he's a very good tight end. Just the thing is, from a dynasty standpoint, I can buy him later. And if the price goes up, I'll gladly pay a little bit more to get something proven from the tight end spot because of the nature of the position. And I'll be glad to look like a fool if this position flips on its head next few years, but I'm not going to buy into it until I have to. That being said, we're going to tier C. We got these quarterbacks here. The jabroni quarterbacks in the draft here, Will Levis and Hendon Hooker. A lot to be said here. Will Levis and Hendon Hooker, they're both going to start off as backups. Hendon Hooker coming off that ACL. Hendon Hooker going into a damn good offense with Justin Jefferson, pass volume, and you're just going to take the gamble on that. And it's super flex. If that hits, if he gets some time starting just a little bit, his value is going to shoot through the roof. Will Levis has a little bit higher first-round draft capital here. Big-time arm, less proven than Hooker. Hooker's got a lot of time under center at the college position, but he's older. He's 25 years old and coming back from an ACL injury. These guys aren't the greatest quarterback prospects, so you kind of want them funneled down a little bit, but also you don't want to ignore them either. Wide receivers fun this year. Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Jack Smith-Njigba, Quentin Johnston. Throw them in a bag, shake them up, see where they land pretty much here. I love Zay Flowers going to the Chargers. I really love this. I think the Seattle Seahawks really can maximize Jordan Addison. I think he fits well as a wide receiver too with another good top-end wide receiver. And I think that can allow him the floors and give you good production in fantasy. Might allow him to hit wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2 results over time as he develops. Jag Smith-Njigba, a lot of people are going to hate him going to the Titans. But you want to buy talents. You want to buy talent at cost. That's going to give you a good discount. Quentin Johnston, I think this is probably one of the better landing spots for him, especially for his skill set. Kind of matches perfectly with him and Josh Allen. Going to Tier A, the quarterbacks. Bryce Young, Stroud, Anthony Richardson. I'm heavy on Richardson in this mock draft due to him going to the Colts. You got Jonathan Taylor to lean on, and I like the ownership there. They're willing to bring on players. They brought in Alec Pierce last year. Not a big name or anything, but they're showing you they're willing to spend draft capital to get you players to help out the offense. Whether they're top end or not, they're willing to do it, put shots in the chamber to see what happens. CJ Stroud going to Texans. You're not dropping him if he goes to the Texans. You wasn't dropping Young. You're not dropping Stroud. Young going to the Panthers. Haven't valued all right. I think there's going to be a time to develop. You need to understand that if you draft these quarterbacks, they're not the greatest quarterback class ever. They're better. It's a lot better than last year, but not the greatest class ever. You just got some guys here that have some good things in their profile. Bijan Robinson's still up there for me. I even like him in the Patriots. I like him in any offense. He goes to USFL. I'm still drafting him here, and I feel like you're going to win with him over time. And honestly, I think if he's sharing the backfield early in his career, this is going to make his career longer and allow him to be more impactful for longer as well, because he doesn't have to learn how to be an NFL running back at the NFL level while carrying the full load. He can really just transition in there, and as he takes things over, you're going to get your fantasy production, and he should produce for you right away, no matter what scenario he lands in. But those are the rankings. That's Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. Smash that subscribe button. Helps me, helps the channel. If you've watched a few videos, you might as well. And you just sat here, watched me talk through these players anyways, you might as well do it, because I'm able to keep you entertained, and I just proved that to you. I want to thank you for watching, though.